Hello and welcome to Rarely Rad, episode 22. Haley and Isabel in the house. Talk to us about your happenings this week.
Dude, honestly, I'm barely alive. You guys are lucky to have me. You're welcome.
And this time
I
it's not death by drinking.
No, this is just death by idiots almost. I was on a run, and I usually so the way Charlotte's we have like a rail trail, and I will run it down all the time, but I just run in a straight line. So I just had tunnel vision, run mode. You have your headphones and you don't really pay attention. You know how it is when you're like full focused in your run. But this time, instead of running straight, I was running to my gym class. So I was crossing the light rail. I didn't even notice that the barrier was down and the train was obviously coming full. I was 5 feet away from getting hit by this train. Slammed on the brakes in the middle of the or the train tracks. People fell over in the train. Yeah, because I turned around. I was like, what just happened? People were standing back up. Like I literally was about to die.
The train stopped so on the dot that people fell.
Yeah.
And how did you just run around the little things down?
So the barriers are only down for the cars, not for where you walk.
Well, maybe they
So
need
it
them for the
just,
people too, because
yeah,
clearly.
because I mean, just tunnel vision. And I was just like, I crossed the street and I was like, what just happened? I can't even imagine what the people in the cars were thinking. Like, they're like, what? This girl just like almost just full on just died. Yeah, I was shaking and I was like running to my gym class and I was like, I can't even go in. Like, I can't, my brain isn't like, I'm not able to process what just happened because I was so close to dying. I missed my gym class. They charged me $28. Yeah, and I was like, that's a lot of
28?
money. Yeah, and like so you get charged more if you don't show up, but I canceled. Granted it was only like 15 minutes beforehand, and they're like, because you canceled over 12 before 12 hours, you get charged, and like that's standard.
Yeah.
But $28, and so I have to wait essentially for it to hit my account to be able to talk to customer service. And then I have to call customer service and be like, hey, like, had to cancel right before, like, I almost got hit by a train. They're like, oh, really? Did you? And I'm like, yeah, I know this sounds really made up, but yeah, I almost got hit by a train. Like, my brain couldn't process what was going on. It was just time for me to go home. I know they just did not believe me.
Did you get your money back?
Yeah, I got my money back. They're like, we'll make a one-time exception.
Yeah, I hope
Okay.
this is the one time I almost get hit by a train, dude.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, let me just try it again. I
Okay, but
haven't gone running since.
that train doesn't even move fast.
It was fast enough to die.
Well, yeah, but like, I don't know. I guess I'm just more aware when I'm running, I would like to think.
I thought so too. I honestly think usually I am. I think it was because I was thinking about so many things at one. Like, I was full just zone.
Yeah.
I'm running, I'm in like a zone, and then I kind of like get out of the zone where I'm like, oh, when I realize like, oh, I'm running. I was in that zone where I didn't even know I was running. Like, there's nothing that could have stopped me in that moment. I
Yeah,
feel like
you
you
were
only
in the
know what,
runner's high.
yeah, and like you only know what that is if you're like a regular runner.
I still
And
don't experience one. I'm a regular runner, and there is never a time I experience runner's high. I will like sometimes I'll get distracted in my podcast, but I come back in like I don't even think it's a 5 minute distraction. I think I'm like, oh wow, just did some running for 30 seconds. I wasn't thinking about how I'm trying to breathe the entire time.
yeah, no, but it was also so early in my run too, so it's like weird to hit runner's high that early. But yeah,
True.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, you just had like a mentally exhausting week and then everything because you're about to move too. So you're like packing and trying to get all that shit together. So you're like, I'm just gonna run to the gym and then face
I mean,
death head on.
packing itself has been a disaster. It's crazy because I've technically cleaned out all the drawers and everything, but there's obviously things that I can't pack yet. Like, I can't pack like all my plates and like my pots and pans, but all the drawers have been emptied out, but a lot of stuff is like sitting on the counter because I'm still utilizing it.
Mhm.
So it looks disastrous in here. It's so bad.
Packing's the worst, and then it's hard for you guys too because like you're just putting everything in storage. So
Right.
it's not like you actually I feel like have to really go through things. It's like, is it worth to pay for this to be stored? Or
Right.
you just buy a new one whenever we come back?
Right. And that's kind of where I'm at, where I'm like, oh, am I willing to pay for this to be here?
Yeah. Well, and that's why I feel like you guys are just selling every single piece of furniture that you have.
I mean, everything's like on Facebook Marketplace except for our couch because couches are so expensive. I'm not dealing with that.
Yeah. Well, and y'all have a nice couch.
Yeah, and so I'm like, if it sells, it sells. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah,
I'm not like
exactly.
overly worried about it. And like in a New York apartment, like I feel like I'm gonna want lighter colored furniture because it's gonna make the room not feel so small,
Yeah.
you know?
That does make sense. Well, but are you guys ever gonna even move furniture up to New York?
See, that's where the movers we've got, they were like, okay, well, like we also do like national moving.
Multi-state.
Yeah. And so she's like, it's $2,000 to move it to New York, which actually isn't really that bad. That's from Charlotte. That includes like everything. It includes them like assembling everything in New York. Not bad at all if you really think about it.
Yeah.
Everything right now for me is just like YOLO. I think I think I mentioned this to everybody here, but I just wanted to do like a couple weeks in an Airbnb, and I think I'm settling on the fact that I want to do like at least a year or two.
Up in New York, not in an Airbnb.
Yeah, no, not in Airbnb. In New York. And then yeah, I'll end up like moving my stuff up, but maybe we'll just drive. It kind of just depends. If we only have the couch and we have the couch broken down and everything else is boxes, like I'd rather just do that myself, I think.
Yeah, that does make sense. But then even then it's like, okay, we got to pack those certain things that we would bring to New York and those other things that we're not going to.
Well, it's also like different moving in, from one apartment to another apartment complex because like I have food in the freezer that I need to eat. And like I have, you know what I mean? And like I have things I'm going to end up throwing away. Or I'm just
Yeah.
going to give food to like other people because I'm not like going to waste that. But
When I was just there for the 4th of July, y'all have so many sauces.
I was just about to say Austin's such a big condiment sauce guy. I was like, all of these are gonna have to be thrown away, right? Nobody's gonna want this. Like, this is weird. Like,
No,
I'm not
yeah,
even gonna
like,
offer that to anybody else. Like,
having a sauce party.
yeah, no. And I was like, these like I don't even know. We probably have like a good like $80 worth of condiments. I'm not a sauce person, but he is.
I mean, I can be, but it's definitely like ranch.
Yeah, no, that's like the only one I use. And like
I do like honey mustard and stuff, but like I'm not gonna use, I don't know, like a barbecue sauce, a hot sauce, a sriracha, none of that. Not
yeah,
interested.
I think the only one
Don't
we use
even
is
get us started on ketchup.
no, we'll not do ketchup.
We will not be near that. Yeah. I mean, okay. I think we might have even talked about this before. Don't you drink milk?
Yeah, I love milk.
Every time I open this one guy's fridge, he has a gallon of milk in there. I'm like, what are you doing with this?
Yeah. I told you it's really good for you.
It's disgusting. And so now we bring it up all the time and we'll ask people. And he's like, well, I'll put it in protein shakes and stuff. And I'm like, I mean, I would use almond milk, but like full whole milk, no.
I use 2%.
I don't even know what he uses. All I know is I see this giant white gallon container in the fridge, and every single time I want to die.
I don't really buy milk, but occasionally I'll buy it and I'll drink it. But like it's like once a month maybe, I don't know, and not even that often. But it's actually funny you mention that. Our neighbor knocked on our door yesterday and he's like, "Hey, can I borrow some milk?" I was like, "I don't have any." And like he's super nice. He's asked to like borrow eggs because he does like a lot of baking, and then he'll bring over cookies. I'm like, I don't care, I'll give you like an egg or two. And
Yeah.
I've had to go over there and ask him for stuff too. So
Is this the neighbor with the alarm?
Yes. He stopped that after I loudly said it in the hallway. And Austin was like, he totally heard you, which I didn't mean for him to hear me. I just only speak at one level. Like I can't whisper and I can't yell. It's just this level all the time.
I got called out at the bar yesterday for being a loud girl. We came out of the bathroom and these 3 dudes were standing up at the bar. And this was like early in the day. Like we were at Lady Bird, so like daytime bar. And these 3 dudes were standing up at the bar. And as we come out of the bathroom, these 3 guys blatantly turn and just stare at me uncomfortably. And if you're interested in me, just come up and talk to me. Like, don't fucking stare at me like that. That's weird. And so we like both see it and we're like, okay, that's weird. And I was like, fuck that. And then this other guy, and he was like, I can hear your loud ass everywhere.
Oh
and
my
I was
goodness.
like, yeah. And he's really nice. He ended up actually buying us a drink and stuff. And he thought I was funny. So like, obviously I was so into it. He was like trying to date me. He was like, would you ever date a rich black guy? And I was like, you said rich? He goes, I don't think white boys can handle you. And I was like, not a lot of people can in general. and he was wearing an Arkansas jersey. And so, but I just kept saying it as Arkansas. And they're like,
Arkansas.
I was like, I'm just gonna fuck with you for the rest of the day. And then we saw our other friends. They came in and went to a different bar in the place. Oh, our friends are in here, so like we're gonna go say hi. But like if you see us, say hi. And I was like, actually, you'll hear us coming, so don't you worry. He was like, damn right I will. I was like, I am who I am. Sorry about it.
Dude,
One volume and one
yesterday,
volume only.
yeah, one volume. I know that I'm the same way. One volume, but mine's not loud enough.
I try and
just
whisper, and people are like, Haley, like everyone can still hear you. And I'm like, no, I'm whispering.
Dude, Austin will be like, oh, can you hear me right now? And because I'll be like, keep it down, you're yelling. And he's like, really? Then I'll just talk like this for the rest of the day. And I'm like, yeah, that's a normal person's level of speaking. He's like, you can hear that? And I was like, yes, I can hear that. I honestly think from playing the drums, he's partially deaf.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, because half the time he doesn't hear me, or maybe he's ignoring me. I don't know. Yesterday, I was packing all day, and this restaurant I used to work at when I was in college, I worked there for like 2 or 3 years. It's closing down. They've been open since like 1980 something. It's an older
Just
restaurant.
because of business, or did someone die?
I think it's just business.
That's how all of my stores, I like run our social media. I swear every time I get on our Instagram page, there's another store closing. And then my brands are like, why are numbers down and stuff? And I'm like, these stores are doing everything they can possibly do to even just stay open. Like I can't keep selling them products if they can't sell the product.
Is it Shein?
No, I'm talking about like my actual job, dude.
No, I'm saying, do you think Shein is like taking over? And
I think it is like the Shein and just like Amazon and dupes and all that. But I also think like people don't have the extra money right now to spend on clothes. And something that just doesn't really make sense in my mind is like traveling's at an all-time high. Like people still think like that we still have like the revenge COVID traveling from that year, but like now COVID was 4 years ago. Traveling still all-time high, but I guess people are doing that traveling but not going and buying all those new outfits. I don't really know. Everyone's struggling.
I also think there's a lot of things right now like Rent the Runway where you can just rent clothes and then never have to deal with them. Like I was thinking about that in New York City since the closets are so much smaller and laundry is a pain. This whole year I've been very good about trying to reuse clothes because I was very bad about that for a long time. And I was like, maybe I'll do something like Rent the Runway or something during like seasons or times where I'm like going out instead of, because it's like $80 a month. You get 6 items of clothing. One item of clothing alone is usually like $60 to $80. That's shirts. That's not even pants. So
that
it's like,
I saw a influencer on Instagram the other day, and her husband's like bullying her because she's been loving like the baggy pants lately. And so she got a few different pairs to try on from Amazon. And she opened one and it had someone's sock in it. Like this person must have worn these pants and returned them and like washed them and everything. And when they packed them back up, they didn't realize that they packed up one of their socks in it too.
And Amazon doesn't check. Clearly.
No. I was like, I think I would die. Like,
yeah.
You can't wear those pants.
No, return immediate.
Yeah. And like, what do you say? Like, there's a sock in here. Like, don't ship these to anyone else.
That's my one thing with Rent the Runway is I think I would only do dresses.
Our one friend that she did Rent the Runway, and remember she got shit on her jacket.
On her jeans.
No, it was on the Rent the Runway jacket too.
She got shit on all her clothes. It was all Rent the Runway.
The first Skinny Girl retreat ever, we did this wine tour, and honestly, we really didn't think through it, but we were driving packed on this bus.
We weren't driving. We had a driver.
Oh, yeah. We were riding. To clarify, we all drank all the night before, and then we woke up and started drinking before the wine tour. Obviously, we had to drive through the hills of Atlanta. The Atlanta
mountains of Atlanta.
Another inside joke from that trip. But we drove through and it was miserable. Like everyone is not thriving on this bus. And we're trying to play games and stuff. But this one girl, she gets off the bus and like hauls ass into the winery. She's in the bathroom for ages. And everyone's like, she already thrown up. Like, that bus ride was tough. So, like, makes sense. And we all have to go to the bathroom. So it's of course one stall. It's a little tiny winery. We're waiting in line forever. Finally, she comes out. Turns out she basically exploded in the bathroom and poop got everywhere, including her Run the Runway jacket.
It's so funny too because obviously we didn't really know her that well and she was so embarrassed and I was like, you need to know your audience.
Yeah,
because
I remember she was outside crying with one of our other friends and I was like giving her purse inside. I'm holding it and I'm like, why the fuck am I holding this girl's purse? Like, why can't she hold her own damn purse? And so I go outside, I'm like, here, and I'm like, why are you crying? And my first thing was like, because she was about to get engaged, I was like, the engagement's not happening. And then she's like, I got poop on my pants. And it's like this tiny, and I was like, have you met Isabel? I was like, go talk to Isabel. She poops everywhere. She's done way worse.
Yeah, that was the bare minimum. I wish that was it. The extent of my bowel issues.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, that she did get poop on the cream colored Run the Runway jacket.
Yeah, maybe that's what I was. Maybe I'll just do dresses.
I don't know. You got to throw away that one dress. In that one dress is the reason you have had a lot of issues.
The thing is the dress has always stayed safe. Nothing ever got on the dress. But I was like, we've had
just everywhere else.
Just everywhere else. Bad luck with that dress. So I don't wear her anymore. I got rid of her.
The other day we went out to a bar and we were playing pool. One, I'm actually like not that bad at pool. Granted,
yeah.
Some games I'm way better than others, but I learned I play pool left-handed.
I had too.
No idea. Like you put your right hand up front?
I think so. We have a pool table upstairs that Austin and I will go to sometimes.
All of a sudden, I like asked my friend, I was like, oh, are you left-handed? And she's like, what? No. And I was like, oh, why do you play like that? And she's like, I'm playing right-handed. And then I looked and everyone else was playing the same way she was. And I was like, oh, I play left-handed.
There's a lot of things that I do left-handed and I don't know, like, I can't think of anything right now.
I will claim I am semi-ambidextrous and it's all because of lacrosse.
Maybe that's why I can do things with my left hand too.
I brush my teeth left-handed. I cut left-handed. And I guess I play pool left-handed.
Yeah, I do cut stuff left-handed. And I always sign my signature left-handed. Nothing else. Weird. Like I write right-handed, but when I'm signing my signature, I always do it with my left hand.
God, that's so weird, especially because like that's if you're a left-handed writer, like that's when writing smudges. If it's with ink.
Well, it's like always on the computer.
Oh.
I always it's only the computer I'll do on the left hand. Like, you know what I'm talking about
when you have the little pen at like a checkout thing?
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, something else. Oh, hi, sweet doggy. I know you're not a big music listener, but follow along. Mm-hmm. You know how Post Malone's been coming out with all these country songs?
Mm-hmm. And
he's about to drop his whole country album, and there's a bunch of famous country people on it. Do you think he now regrets all those face tattoos?
I'm sure he has been regretting them, let's be honest. I feel like people with face tattoos regret it within like a month. Once they kind of get their brain together.
Like he used to be like such like the like stoner drunk music guy. And he put out some bangers. But now he's gone country. And I just like imagine him like hanging out with Blake Shelton. And not that his tattoos like make him a different person. That's like not country.
No, I wouldn't say that's
like country. Imagine like Kenny Chesney hanging out with him. Kind of weird. Kenny Chesney's over here in his board shorts, and here's Post Malone tatted up his entire face.
Post Malone kind of looks like he smells.
He has to. I think he's definitely smelly.
Like a little grungy smell.
Yeah, I think he literally gets out of the shower and he still smells.
Yeah, like I just think he just looks like he smells.
No, he definitely
It's crazy how you can like look at people and be like, you look like you smell.
That reminds me too. Yesterday, I went to dinner. We did a little girls' dinner because we were all going out. I didn't end up going out. It was a shit show, whatever. Not a shit show in a drunk way, just like everyone was all over the place. No one can make plans. People are going to this bar and this bar. And I was just like, you know what? This might be a sign. Don't go out.
Sorry.
Bless you. So I was like, I'm just not going to go out. I'm going to stay home. And I mean, it was midnight. Like, it's not like I was like home early. But the night before, I pulled the whole like, I'm going to go out and also not eat all day. And so all I had was 2 protein shakes earlier in the day. So I got hammered. I went to the pool at like 5 p.m. and didn't drink too much there, but like it hit me quick because I had not eaten. Our friend was holding a pregame. So I went, picked up my other friend. We went to the pregame. Pregame becomes an absolute blur. We went to 2 different bars. Don't remember either bar. I do remember leaving the bar and going to the postgame. And that's when I came back in. I remember that the entire after the bar experience, just the entire bar experience, no clue. So then last night at dinner, friend that I was with, she was giving me a recap of literally everything that happened during the bars and like who we saw, who we talked to. Because again, I remember none of it. I projectile vomited sitting at the bar.
Dude, go home.
I was just sitting there, and all of a sudden, she saw me grabbing all these napkins. And she was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Just cleaning."
Ew, you did it all over yourself too?
Apparently, some of it even got in my hair because she was like, "Did you wash your hair today?" And I was like, "No, why would I have?"
Oh, ew. That's gross.
And yeah, so then she gave me the full recap, and I was like, now that you are telling me this, I do remember it a little tiny bit, but like I did not remember any of this on my own.
Yikes. Like, and then you're just like the whole day, you're just walking around being vom girl.
Yeah. And then I made out with a guy.
That's disgusting.
He was sitting next to me at the bar that I threw up at. So there's no way he like didn't know. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah.
That is foul.
And that was at the first bar. We went to a whole second bar too.
Yeah, you're just like, well, that's what I'm saying. You're just living your best life, vom boy.
Yeah. I was like, this is 28.
Oh my God. I actually will say, now that I'm 29, I almost just say like in my 30s. And I've noticed that a lot of people at 29 will just be like, yeah, now that I'm like close to my 30s or like in my 30s.
The other day I was filling out some questionnaire online for something, and you had to put what age bracket you were in. And you know how usually they'll like split like, I don't know, like 20 to like 23, 23 to 27, 28 to 32, whatever. This one was just like 20s, 30s, like 40. I felt like it was such a cool flex that I could still choose 20s.
There's some that are like 30 to 45, and it's like, I'm 30. Like, I'm not 30, but like when I am 30, yeah. I'm not 45. Like, there's a big difference.
I'm not trying to claim that. Well, even on the podcast thing where we can see like how many listeners and like what our audience is, I'm pretty sure it's split up like that too, where it's like a wild age bracket that you can see.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pull it up real quick to see.
We had a listener for a while in like South Korea or no, the Philippines. Do you remember that?
We still have a Sweden, Philippines, and Switzerland.
So random.
Where they're coming from, don't know. Probably my viral reel that hit 1 million views. Hey. I need to go post that somewhere because that is fame. Yeah, the breakup on age for Spotify's podcasters is 18 to 22, 23 to 27, 28 to 34. That's our largest listening group, which makes sense because that's our age. 35 to 44, 45 to 59, and then 60 plus.
Even though, like, what was it, 28 to 30? What was that?
28 to 34.
Like, I don't want to claim 34.
I don't know. We went to a birthday party yesterday. The guy was turning 34. I just don't think of 34 as old anymore because most of the people I know that are like 34, they still don't have their shit together either.
I think that's because of the people that you know that are 34.
Oh, for sure. 100%. I'm not hanging out with the ones with like babies and married and whatever.
That's one thing a lot of people I know now are starting to like have kids. And I'm like on purpose? Like, you know? They're like, yeah, we're full on married. And I'm like, oh yeah, congrats.
I mean, my friend that we get dinner together like once a month, and she's a big planner too. So like she'll probably hit me up this week to plan a dinner the end of August. Like that's just how she is. Told me this past dinner, she's like, yeah, we're starting to try for a kid. And I was like, try? Like you're just like trying? And she's like, yeah, like I'm tracking my cycles. And she's like, it's really high right now. So like I'm gonna go home and like we're gonna try. And I'm like, this is weird that this is a normal conversation that you're telling me that like you're about to go home and like get cream pied. This is weird.
Well, it's also like it's crazy because it's like I know like a couple of friends that are like, yeah, we don't have sex very often. That's fine. But now you're trying. So like I'm sure he's having a good time doing this. And like, are you?
Yeah. like that's like Pookie and Jet. They're finally pregnant and stuff. And there's like the funny meme accounts. And this one guy's like, just can't keep my eyes off of her. Like once she starts doing it, and that's like, I gotta go for it. And I'm like, this is just interesting that like people feel okay to talk about having sex because they're trying for a baby. But if you aren't trying for a baby, you don't talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's also situational because I think if somebody asks you like, oh, what are you doing? Like, let's say you know a married couple and you're like, oh, like when are you guys thinking of kids? Oh, we're trying. That's fine. You come on and be like, yeah, I'm gonna go home and get railed tonight.
That's like it's so weird that people think that's normal to say. They're like, oh yeah, we're trying to do this, and I'm like, that's odd. I disagree with this. I say maybe no. Maybe just tell me when you are pregnant. Or this girl and I, we always get Mexican, so she always gets a margarita. So I'm just gonna know the next time we go if she does not get a damn margarita.
Right.
One of our friends, she's kind of like a friend of a friend. I do know her, but like I've literally hung out with her maybe twice. Mainly because she just had a baby yesterday. She's been pregnant. She's 25. And our other friend that we were out with yesterday, she was like, oh my God, like I want a baby, like blah, 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 just had her baby today. And she's 2 years younger than me. And I said, yeah, she also got knocked up by her boyfriend that she had been dating for 1 month. So shock that they haven't even been dating for a year and they have a baby.
Yeah.
Like, is that the life you actually wanted to live? Because maybe no for me. I said, at that point, I'd also be pregnant with Pea's baby.
Well, the thing is
just kidding, like, we didn't have sex.
The relationships, I feel like sometimes that start off like, oh, you've been dating for a month and then you get pregnant. First of all, I don't want it, but no. I think sometimes they end up working out better than relationships that had a full-on relationship and then you have a kid, because like your relationship is built around being a parent. Like your relationship doesn't know any different. Like a lot of the reasons relationships don't work out or marriages don't work out is because one, like you're having to change your whole lifestyle for a child, and then XYZ isn't getting enough attention or they're not contributing enough, and you used to do this back in the day. You don't do that anymore.
Yeah, I do agree there, but why would you want that? I don't know.
What, like, a kid?
Yes, but I mean, I do want kids one day, but like, I don't know. Imagine like your whole relationship just starts like with a kid. Like you never really got to know each other. They're probably 5 years into the relationship and they're still, oh, I didn't know you had a brother.
Yeah, I mean,
because it's always just been about the kid then, and you just never actually date each other. And then you have never been on a trip without having a baby. That sucks.
Yeah, unless you get like a whole full-on babysitter. But even then, you still have to like check in and worry about the kid and stuff like that.
Yeah, and if you got pregnant that quickly, that means you were never really a two-income household, because you probably never lived together. You probably never really got to save that extra money of being able to like split bills. You lived as two single people that are now coming together as three.
I mean, you basically then at like 3 months move in together, you know? And then you basically have to, and it's not even you move in together, you find like a whole different place. It's not like somebody's moving in with somebody else really, because the more likely is both of them have 1-bedroom apartments or a roommate. And it's like, I'm not going to be somebody's roommate with a baby.
Well, even like, so I obviously have a 2-bedroom. If needed to, obviously the second bedroom could become a baby room, but also where's all his stuff going? Like, are we suddenly just like moving out all my stuff and like intermingling our stuff? No, sorry, I don't want your stuff in this place. Where does his stuff go? Do we just sell it all? Do we throw it away? Do we give it away?
Storage unit.
Yeah, but like, I mean, what are you gonna do? Like, oh, we're now living together. We're starting a life. We have a baby. We're also paying for a storage unit for all of his furniture to go somewhere. Like, that makes no sense.
I mean, I think the financially smart or responsible thing would be to sell this stuff.
Probably the best financially smart thing to do is to not have the baby.
Yeah, no. I mean, almost. Today England is playing. It's the finals.
Who are they playing?
Spain. We have brunch at 12:30, and then
Where
the
are y'all
game's at
going?
3. 60 Vines. I don't think I went.
I've heard
there
of
with
it.
you.
I don't know if I've been, but I've heard of it for sure.
It's actually really good.
Oh my gosh. Something we do need to touch on is, so I visited Charlotte for the 4th of July. It was the big hurrah going away since it was the last time I'll visit before y'all move. And I got Jimmy's number.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Jimmy from Love is Blind.
Yo, we ran into him. Sycamore? Yeah.
Sycamore, yeah.
And we saw him, and obviously I was like, I gotta go get him on the podcast. So I go over there. Of course, Austin's already talking to him. And then Austin's like, do you want to do a shot? And Jimmy was like, looks at me. I was like, well, will you do a shot with us? And I was like, absolutely. And so Austin's like, great. Then he comes back with only 2 shots. And I'm like, because I don't matter. And so then they take the shot. And then Jimmy's like, talking to me, and then I was like, yeah, I have a podcast. He's like, oh, what's it called? He literally pulled up the Instagram, and I'm like, yeah, that reel of mine's going viral right now. Like, we actually just hit 100 followers.
Damn, it would have been cool if he followed us.
Yeah, well, I made him like the post because he like looked at it. He probably was like, oh, is this girl like actually real? And then he probably saw that it had 100 followers, and he was like, oh, so like not really.
No, that's good.
Super legit. We're on Spotify, damn it.
Yeah, dude. And YouTube.
And I was like, you can't look it up and then not like the post. And he was like,
also, you can't look it up and not follow.
Yeah, like what the fuck? But then he asked for my number. And then can we just talk about how weird his texts were?
He's a weirdo.
The whole time. So he was like, where are y'all going? And I was like, I don't know yet. I don't really live here though. So like, I'll figure it out and I'll tell you. And so right before we left, because we were going to Bridget's,
yeah.
So I walked over to him because I was like, I'm not going to text him. Like, I'm going to walk over and show like confident queen. I'm also, guys, in a cowgirl hat.
Yeah, I got a Ken Chesney concert, or Austin got it for me technically, but yeah.
July 5th. Everyone loves it. I got so many compliments on how good I look in a cowgirl hat. So now I claim it. I'm gonna start wearing one more often. It was like, yeah, can I get your number? And then I went over to him and told him like, we're going to Bridget's. And he was like, oh yeah, that's a good little Irish bar. And I was like, well, that's good because I'm Irish. My last name's O'Connell. Is my response. And then was texting me, and all he was kind of doing was like, come over, come through. And I was like, he edited one of his come throughs to a period.
That was weird. I don't know why he would do that. Like,
and you can
already
see
said like
edit.
3 other.
Yeah, you've already said come over and come through like 2 other times.
Right.
So why on this last one?
The third one?
Did you then go in and edit it when I can see the edit?
Yeah.
Like, makes no sense. Very odd. We obviously didn't end up seeing him again. And then the next morning, I got a text from a different random number from some guy. And he was like, this is John, the baseball coach. Don't remember talking to John. And he was like, I hope you had so much fun celebrating your birthday. My birthday? I was telling people it was my birthday. Nice. Yeah, and then he wanted to hang out well, first he wanted to take me on a date. And I was like, oh, wait, I actually don't live here. So, like, I'm not going on a date with you. I also could not, if I saw you again, I would have no idea who you are. 0 clue. Was like, oh, well, we're going to go here if you want to continue celebrating your birthday festivities. My birthday's in September. Thought it was a good idea to tell this guy apparently that July 5th, July 4th was my birthday. I was like, we got to celebrate something.
But the best part of the night was when I was going to order 40 chicken nuggets.
From McDonald's. When Austin said he wasn't going to have any, and we were like, oh man, guess we only have to get 20.
Which, like, I don't know why one person would have deterred us from getting 40 nuggets.
Thank God it did. We did not need that many.
40 nuggets and fries.
Like, protein! I don't know. Needs to up her protein intake, so we need the 40 nugs.
I really do. I don't consume almost any protein. It's so bad.
Yeah, we know. You're working on it though.
I'm like try to be so like conscious of it, and it's still like I get to like 70 on like a good day.
Meanwhile, I'm at like 120.
That's like me on carbs. It's like 120.
You can hit your carb goal all the time, just
I
not the
I overhit my carb goal. I'm like, I really got to work on the lowering the carb goal.
Well, that's because you eat a shit ton of pasta.
I eat so much. It's so good.
Oh my gosh. So last night we went to Indico. Y'all have one,
In Daco, yeah.
that place. It was awful. No one liked their food.
Maybe it's the Atlanta one. The one here isn't pretty good.
The pizza was okay, but everything else we had, it was like all the pastas no one liked. To the point there were 7 of us, and I was the only person that bought my own pasta. Everyone else split a pasta. I didn't realize that was going on until all of a sudden the food came out and I had a bowl to myself and everyone else had a bowl between two people. And I was like, my bad. No one finished any of their pastas. I was like, that's when you know it's definitely not that good.
I wonder if it's the Atlanta one because the one here is pretty good. But
Like-
they used to be better. They used to have more options. Like they don't have a lot of options anymore. Lauren and I went down and got pizza and they had like this honey goat cheese pizza, something like that.
Ooh.
And that was really good. And then there was another one which really surprised me that it was like a meat lover thing, but it wasn't like a normal meat lover. I can't even remember, but it was really ended up being really good. But the one here is really good and the espresso martinis here are really good.
Like a lot of the group was already there because I had to walk down the Beltline to get there since I did like the day on the Beltline and then ours is on the Beltline, so I just walked down. My legs chafed so much that my legs are in so much pain. There's no way I can wear shorts today. What I'm gonna wear? No idea because it's 99 degrees outside. But
I know. I really want to wear these pants, these jeans.
I feel like I'm gonna end up at the pool, and I'm like, I can't go to the pool with fucking chafing thighs. I'm gonna be walking around like
put deodorant between your thighs. It stops them from chafing.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try that today. But both my deodorants are white, so.
Well, yeah, that's minor. What color are other deodorants?
I don't know. Sometimes, like like when they deodorants become like bally.
Oh, like. Yeah, but I think that's like from creases in your armpit.
Okay.
Like,
so hopefully not my thighs rubbing against each other.
Yeah. I don't think there's like, well, I don't know. My thighs don't have like creases like that. They don't like overlap.
Luckily, mine don't either at this point. But yeah, a lot of the girls got espresso martinis, but I actually behaved so much mainly because I probably didn't want to freaking spend any more money.
The place is not cheap though.
No, well, I don't even know how much I spent because one girl paid the tab, and then I'll probably get like a Venmo request in like 2 days. I got this like mezcal coconut drink, and I actually enjoy mezcal. And I saw another girl not at our table drinking it, and she said it was really good. And then I asked the bartender, and she was like, "That's my favorite drink, whatever." Wasn't good. It was so disappointing. I was like, for someone who actually likes mezcal, I'm not into this. I don't like this at all. And so, yeah, everything about it was kind of mid. The focaccia was really good. The shishito peppers were good. And the burrata was good. So I would say our appetizers were really good. And then the meal just kind of went downhill. But it was also the longest freaking dinner ever. We had a reservation at 8:15. We did not leave there until 11:15.
It's insane because ours, like, when my friend and I went there, we went there pretty recently, maybe like 3 months ago. And we were in and out within an hour. And we got appetizers and an entree and 2 drinks each.
And that was the crazy thing is like, I understand sometimes like, when the server comes over and you're like, oh, sorry, we're not ready yet. And you have to wait. We never did that. Yeah. We were always ready when she came over. Even at one point we called her over and we're like, we're ready to do like our appetizers and stuff. And it was just the longest dinner ever. And that's why we were supposed to go out. There's a pregame I was supposed to go to. I didn't even end up making it to the pregame because I came home, walked the dog that I'm now pet sitting because just a pet sitter over here at this point. And then I locked my front door and I was heading out and I was like, hey, I'm about to head to like your place for the pregame. And he was like, oh, we already left. Like we're heading all the way up to the Battery to go out. And I was like, there ain't no way I'm about to go up to the Battery. I was just like, guess I'm going to stay home. I didn't know what else to do. Some people were all out at bars down by the Beltline where I was at. And I was like, I'm not about to turn around and go back to where I just came from.
Yeah.
Like I'm already up in Buckhead. I don't want to go back. So whatever. I stayed
Probably
in.
Good for you. I feel like you've been go.
Exactly. I was like, honestly, this is a sign like, and I was sober because I only had one drink at dinner and dinner was 17 hours long. So I was like, there's no reason, like, this is a sign, just like stay home and go to sleep. So I got a full night of sleep, but I can't track my sleep anymore because my freaking watch is gone.
Yeah. Whoops. Dude, so it's kind of crazy. I worked at this restaurant here in Charlotte for like 2 or 3 years in my early college days when I just moved back to Charlotte. And like I said, they're closing, and they had like kind of like a going away thing yesterday. And it's kind of weird because like I wouldn't generally go because I'd be like, whatever, I've worked there in 8 years. Like, that was before I even knew Austin. And so like a literal different life. And I ended up going, and it was kind of nice because I was like, I feel like it was like a good way to close out Charlotte. Because I was like, no, this restaurant's closing. I've did like a lot of growing up here, and now I'm leaving Charlotte. A good way to end it.
Were there a lot of people there that like you had worked with?
Yeah, like everybody was there that I'd worked with.
Do they all still work there?
No.
Oh.
I think like 2 of them still worked there. They were working the bar. But then everybody else was like some of them the previous managers, like previous servers, whatever. So it was kind of cool to see everybody. I mean, I haven't talked to like any of those people in 8 years.
How did you even know this was going on?
Somebody messaged me on Facebook. Yeah. I mean, because we don't talk. Like,
Well, that's why I was confused. And it's even funnier that they had to message you on Facebook.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's how they message most people because, like I said, it's been 8 years since we all worked there.
Was it at the restaurant?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
It was packed. Like, it was, I guess they thought it was just going to be like us, but I guess them announcing their closing, like people wanted to come for like one last time. So it was fucking packed.
Was yesterday like their last day?
They're closing this next Saturday, the 20th.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so technically a full week from now. So I'm scrolling through the most unhinged app of all, Facebook, of course.
Facebook Marketplace.
Dude, I see the weirdest thing on Facebook Marketplace. The other day I saw a chicken nugget shaped like North Carolina for $11,000. Like, what? And then I saw a car with spray painted cheater, and somebody was like, hey, I'm selling this for $1,000. I'm like, dude, no. What? But scrolling through Facebook is all just like high school people that never left their hometown.
Yeah, always.
And it's always so funny to me to see these like the kids that were like quote unquote really cool and popular and now commenting on like other people's stuff and like this girl just had a baby a couple months ago. This quote unquote popular girl is like commenting on this girl's picture and it was like, she looks just like you. And I'm looking at this picture and I'm trying to like really be open-minded and be like, but they don't look anything alike. They don't look anything alike. And also this
girl that commented, what are her initials?
AM. She's married now. Last name AM or M. Before it was AK. She's in my
I know. Okay. I'm there. I'm following.
Yeah.
AK is just who had the baby. Another baby. Her third fucking baby. Do you see that?
She just had a third baby?
She just had a third baby.
Dude.
Yeah. They now have 3. That's crazy.
So this is the crazy part about AK/AM. My friend used to work with her best friend at a restaurant. They were like servers together in high school. AK stopped taking her birth control on purpose to get pregnant.
Yeah, she got knocked up like a month after.
Or like right after.
I think it was like a month after graduation from high school.
It was like, I think that's when they announced it. I think she was probably pregnant before.
Do you remember her mom had also just had a baby?
Yes. Her mom had her young to begin with. And then her mom was like 30 something when we graduated high school. And then her mom had a baby like maybe a year beforehand.
Yeah. So I remember because she would like always take care of this baby. And then all of a sudden she was popping out a baby and
she was like parading her little sister, brother, whatever around school.
Yeah.
And then she purposely stopped taking her birth control and lied to her boyfriend, now husband, I guess it worked out. And obviously he got her pregnant. They broke up for a little bit and he dated some girl.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then they got back together.
I mean, one of my really good friends in high school, I don't talk to her anymore. She dated him in high school. And I remember like when it all happened, I was like, damn, like that could have been you. Like, thank God it's not. But like could have been.
Isn't he like really dumb?
I don't know if he's the smartest. He was like cute and popular in high school. Like he had the Justin Bieber little like flow. Like
he was tall.
He was like
he's an attractive guy.
He wasn't even that tall. He was just like tall and skinny.
Yeah, I guess I think he was like 6 foot because she's like 5'11", basically. She's really tall.
She's also never been really skinny.
No.
Like she's always been bigger than him. And now she's pumped out 3 babies, so she's definitely bigger than him now. But it does make sense because remember when we saw a photo of her a few weeks ago and you're like, wow, she either looks bad or she looks like she's pregnant again. Turns out she's pregnant again.
I didn't realize she was
popping out a baby.
I can't, but I remember her friend and her stop being friends because her friend outed her and was like, I can't believe you just locked in this 18-year-old guy. I don't think either of them ended up going to school. Actually, I think she might have gone to like community college.
Yeah, I could see that. Like, I could see them like kind of going to school there, but like, I mean, they are the epitome of someone that's never left the hometown. I mean, she's literally the one that was trying to plan the class reunion.
That's what I was saying. She's literally the one organizing the high school. I mean, that's all you need to
know. Yeah. Like, she is that one of our group. So, well, I guess not group, of our school.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy too. Dude, this is like the worst part of our town is like there was a couple, they got married probably about 4 years ago now. And they were quote unquote popular kids. And they invited teachers to their wedding. Do you remember that? And like the principal?
Yes. And I'm pretty sure the hashtag for the wedding was like, as always, go Huskies.
It was like in one of their speeches or something, or like they did a cheers to it. But I remember there was something that was like, and as always, go Huskies.
And on that note, fucking hate it here. And we're out.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, Haley.